In the near future, Matthew Vaughn's two spy franchises, Kingsman and Argylle, are set to merge to become a more expansive spy film universe. Argylle and Kingsman, two of Matthew Vaughn's high-octane action comedy spy franchises, are about to merge to form a single, cohesive spy film universe. Similar to how Kingsman did, Vaughn's latest film Argylle established a whole new story involving clandestine espionage collectives after 3 successful entries in the Kingsman universe. Despite having a similar tone and vibrant visual style to Kingsman, neither Argylle's complex plot nor its thrilling conclusion suggested that the two films were part of the same cinematic universe. There would be no need to retcon anything in order for a crossover to occur, because the two espionage groups that are the subject of Argylle and Kingsman are very clandestine, which helps to explain why they might not be aware of one another. Indeed, there'll be plenty of opportunities for the two properties to overlap, given Matthew Vaughn's future ambitions for them both. Given that Argylle's post-credits scene suggested that the two franchises might actually take place in the same universe, it appears to be a near certainty now. It makes sense that the two espionage groups in Argylle and Kingsman would be clandestine and unaware of one another, therefore no retcon would be necessary for a crossover to occur. The two brands will really have plenty of opportunities to cross over, given Matthew Vaughn's future intentions for them. The possibility that the two brands coexist in the same universe was hinted at in the Argylle post-credits scene, so it appears almost certain now. Although there were no clues or Easter eggs in the main action of Argylle suggesting that it's set in the same world as the Kingsman secret organisation, a crazy scenario before the credits gave conclusive proof that it is. Scene. The scene takes place 20 years in the past. A young guy walks into a pub that everyone knows as the Kingsman, and introduces himself as Aubrey Argylle. A box containing a gun and silencer is given to the bartender after he delivers a coded message to him. The line "Argylle Book 1, the movie coming soon" was also hinted at in the mid-credits sequence. Although the Kingsman organisation is primarily known for owning tailor shops, it's not unreasonable to assume that they'd also own other companies. The bar's name is shared with the prequel to the movie franchise, which also happens to be the organisation's namesake. This is about as obvious as indication as it gets. The adult Argylle, who appears at the very end of Argylle, is not shown to be a member of the Kingsmen, although it is evident that the group had some sort of influence on him in the past. While a connection between the two series was undoubtedly made in the mid-credits sequence, it was the extent of the moment's significance. It's also set 20 years prior to the events of Argylle, and if one assumes that the events of Kingsman, the Golden Circle and the Secret Service occur in the same temporal context, then it occurs at least 10 to 15 years prior to those films' events. That implies that the framework is set up for Argylle and Kingsman to cross over at any time during that period. However, those preparations have not yet been made public. A number of upcoming movies that would take place in Matthew Vaughn's newly created interconnected espionage film universe have already been discussed. Vaughn plans to produce and release film and television projects under his production company Marv that will span the Argylle and Kingsman franchises. An Argylle prequel series was confirmed before the film even opened in theatres, and Vaughn had previously stated that he intended Argylle to be the first in a trilogy of films. Although Argylle's mostly unfavourable evaluations could sabotage these plans, they're currently being developed. Vaughn has other franchises in mind to grow in addition to the Argylle one, in addition to a follow-up to the prequel, The Kingsman, which focuses on the agents who founded the Kingsman organisation. The seasoned filmmaker has plans to film a sequel to Kingsman, The Golden Circle, which will carry on the tale of the contemporary Kingsman agents. Additionally, he plans to return to the Statesman TV series, which is the sister organisation of the Kingsmen in the United States. Within his interconnected spy film world, Matthew Vaughn plans to incorporate a mysterious third series in addition to the rapidly growing Argylle and Kingsman franchises. Vaughn sees his larger spy universe as an all-encompassing entity that unites all 3 films, much like the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Legendary's Monsterverse. Not much is known about Vaughn's third spy series, but it will be fascinating to see if it leans more towards the ultra-violence of the Kingsman series, or the more family-friendly but still violent Argylle series. Though Vaughn's 2014 film Kingsman, The Secret Service was well praised for its chic and light-hearted take on several classic espionage clichés, none of his previous spy ventures had ever met with the same degree of critical acclaim. Despite the fact that Kingsman: The Secret Service and Kingsman: The Golden Circle each made more than $400 million at the box office, Kingsman: The Golden Circle, The King's Man, and Argylle didn't receive a rating of more than 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. Even though Vaughn has lofty goals for a gigantic spy film universe, the success of his next two films will probably have a big impact on how feasible all of his future endeavours will be. Although Argylle's budget was purportedly $200 million, Matthew Vaughn's remarks suggest the actual amount was less. Even yet, Argylle would have to gross around $300 million at the box office in order to be deemed successful enough to support the notion of a trilogy. Argylle and Kingsman, The Blue Blood in particular, will probably determine the fate of Vaughn's enigmatic third franchise. Meanwhile, let's talk about the original movie Argylle. The identity of the real Agent Argylle is the biggest mystery with Argylle, and the movie delivers several twists before confirming their identity and teasing the future. Matthew Vaughn's 2024 action spy movie was largely built around the question of who Agent Argylle really is. This was due to the story revolving around author Ellie Conway, Bryce Dallas Howard, who wrote fictional novels about Agent Argylle, played by Henry Cavill, and her discovery that her books were veering too close to reality. Everything from the marketing to the movie itself begged the question of Argylle's true identity. By the time Argylle's twist ending comes to a close, the truth about Agent Argylle is officially confirmed. This only comes after a series of twists and surprises, each building on the other, which might create some confusion about who Argylle really is for anyone who watches Argylle in theatres or on streaming. This is driven by the fact that the movie confirms Ellie Conway was a spy named Rachel Kyle, who worked for the Division. However, the truth about the movie's titular spy is more complicated than that single reveal, as the story keeps evolving until the closing moments. The genuine Agent Argylle emerged during a Q&A for Ellie Conway's book, despite the fact that Ellie Conway drew inspiration for her portrayal of the character. Argylle gave the impression that he understood why Ellie had included him in the book, but he also hinted that she'd be interested in learning more about him. Especially since until just now, he'd only been a fantasy spy. It's an unexpected turn of events for Ellie. Strangely, Agent Argylle would only come to light now after 6 books. Argylle was probably aware of Ellie's amnesia and brainwashing before she decided to show up, waiting for her to have all of the answers. On the other hand, it's possible that Argylle was unable to contact her because he was on a mission. As of Argylle's ending, though it's unclear whether Argylle works for the CIA as a spy or is doing something completely different. Ellie believed she was a writer who'd only imagined Argylle's spy world. As it turned out, Ellie was actually Rachel Kyle, a spy with the CIA. The fictional Argylle was pulled from the abbreviated version of her name, Agent R. Kyle. That's all for now, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video and found it entertaining, then don't forget to hit the like button below, and if you want to stay updated with more great content like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel by clicking the red button and just ringing the notification bell so you never miss any future content from us. Your support means the world to us.